And again, I'm going to thank you for keeping your cameras on, because it's part of the interaction. Well, Alessandra has an excuse, but the rest of you guys, I really, 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 really need you to turn on your cameras, please. Okay. Any questions or comments or suggestions besides, what we have already discussed about the homework? If you think of anything, during our class, you can, at any moment, let me know. I'm all ears. Okay. So what were we talking about last week? This is like, the checklist of what we have already discussed. So any ideas? Because what we need to remember for life, right? Not just for class. I'm going to give you a hint. We talked about the simple present, right? And we usually use it to express what? Thank you, Alan. Yes?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, with the camera. I'm trying to connect it right now. I don't know, but
Okay, good.
maybe I can connect
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah, it's like what something that we are doing in the past, but it's continue right now in the present. Um,
Uh,
no.
mm, we just want to clarify.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to talk about the perfect tenses today. And that
Mm.
description that you just shared with me has to do a lot with what we're going to discuss today. With the
Ah,
present simple,
I'm confusing maybe.
yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is that you see the timeline, right? And
Yeah.
you see that it's kind of, repeating itself. Like, the x's go along the timeline. What that means is that it happens all the time, right? So that at some point it started. We're not talking about the past, but an activity started at some point, and it will probably continue endlessly, right? Because it's a fact. Yes? So every week we'll have a Monday, right? So I'm going to say that every week has a Monday. So that's true forever. Yes? Or I don't like, well, okay, don't keep this a secret because it's better if you know. I hate onions. That's a fact about me. And I suffer because of that, right? Because everybody puts onions on their food, right? So those are things that won't change. So that's why you see it all the time on the timeline, okay? But we don't pay attention to the past or to when it started, right? We're focusing on the usually, right? It happens like that. Yes?
Sure. Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay. Then we also discussed the present progressive. So, what was the difference between simple and progressive, or continuous, as most books call it? Any ideas? Patty, you look like you know. Adriana and Valerie, and I need you to please open your cameras. Patty?
I think present progressive is to express something in progress that is happening right now.
That's the keyword. Progress, right? Hence the name. So, what are you doing right now? You're talking to me. Yes? Okay. As we advance in this, we're going to discuss a few other uses for this tense, right? Like sometimes we refer to the future using it, but we will get there. Okay, just keep an open mind there. Okie dokie. Okay, then we have stative verbs. Those are important. What do you think about when I say stative verbs? Alejandra? Okay, so this is not a test, so you can get help from your friends, right? This is a review. So, what do you think of when you say stative? State. Marqueta?
Stative verbs are verbs that don't have well, most of the time, don't have the ing form. And so that cannot be used in, what do you call this, present progressive form. And they're usually feelings, emotions, and things like that.
Or descriptions of
Or
state, right? Like
description.
when I say I'm a teacher,
Mhm.
Even though I'm doing it right now, I'm not saying I am being a teacher, right? So, but I can say I'm being careful, right? So we have to be careful with that, okay? So as Marqueta said, usually they describe feelings or states, like today is Monday. I mean Saturday. Or is it Monday? Not Saturday. Okay. Welcome, Karen. So we have the stated verbs. We also discussed a little bit about the simple past. And with this, there's something that I need you to bring to your mind whenever you say simple past. What is it? Carla? What comes to your mind when you say simple past?
Well, literally that it's simple. That it's
I like it.
yeah, simple, and it's just in the past. The verb should be in the past, and it should be in a simple form.
Okay. But when do we usually say, okay, I went to the movies, or I was going to the movies? What's the difference?
Because it's a situation that happened in the past and stayed in the past. So that's why it's simple. That's something that I already did, and it's not and I'm not doing it right now that I already did. For example, like
Got
that.
it.
Yeah, I
It's
went
like a
to the
dot
movie. The
there,
verb,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It started and ended in the past. Like I
Exactly.
ate.
Yeah,
I've already swallowed everything. Nothing is here. I ate, I finished. Yes.
exactly.
Or my favorite, I bought.
Yeah,
It means I
that's
don't
the
have the
favorite.
money anymore. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
There's someone at the door. Just let me see. Who's this? Ana Paula. Okay. Welcome, Ana Paula. So I was saying that past simple means, well, it's over. Yeah. Started and ended. Whereas when we choose to use the past progressive, what is it that we want to express? I was working, and then what? Right? If I say I was working late last night, you go, okay, and then what happened? Right? You expect me to tell you a little more. I was sleeping last night, and then you're going to say, okay, so what's your story about? Right? You need more information, right? So I was sleeping when it started raining. I don't know, or it started to rain, or I was reading a book when my cat fell on me. So it startled me, right? So, okay, usually we have like an activity that was going on and it gets interrupted by something else, right? And this interruption doesn't need to be an action. It can be a time. What were you doing at 10 p.m. last night? Well, at 10 p.m. last night, I was reading, right? There you go. Okay. And then we have unfulfilled intentions. What was it? Another word for unfulfilled intentions? What word would you use? Or what word did we use? Karen, any ideas? Adriana and Ana Paula, could you turn on your cameras, please? So this is not a test. Remember, you can help your friends. Don't let them suffer by themselves. So unfulfilled intentions, like plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Marqueta, go on, please.
Yeah, okay, for example, I was going to do something, but I didn't do it, or I was about to do something, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, that's our excuse, right? We usually want to explain why we didn't do it because it's important that people
To get up early, but
yeah, there you go. So unfulfilled intentions or excuses why things didn't happen, right? And then we have I was expected when other people, right, like expected me to do something, right? External expectation. Okay, so those are the things we discussed last week. So we're going to have a very quick pop quiz. We only have 4 questions. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I want you to just try to answer the questions with your own words. We just discussed it. So answer the questions very, very quickly. I'm going to be quiet for 30 seconds. Ah, Adriana, there you are. So good to see you. Okay, so can I have a volunteer for number 1? Thank you, Alessandra.
Okay, so we use the stative verbs when we want to describe a state, a feeling, or an emotion.
Usually, right? Excellent. Instead of an action. Good. Can I have a volunteer for number 2? Let's see. Any, mini, miny, mo, got to tell you about it. So we have to let him go. Karen, you know the answer? Well, my tiger says you do.
I think yes. You can use multiple verse tenses in a single tense.
Okay, let's read the. It's a lengthy answer. Okay. Did you read it?
The tenses of verbs in a sentence must be consistent when the actions happen at the same time. When dealing with actions that occur at different points in time, however, we can and probably should use multiple tenses in the same sentence.
There you go. Well, we have complex and compound sentences, right? So we can combine, like, I was sleeping when you called, right? Okay. Number 3. Valerie, you look like you know. This is a very easy one because we just discussed it. Any ideas? Remember, guys, this is not a test. You can help your friend Valerie here. Don't let her suffer by herself. Kathy?
I think we can use the non-progressive verbs because when we're talking in progressive form, we are talking about something continuous, and the stative verbs are to speak about a condition or feeling or emotion, something stative.
Yeah, there you go. But we have remember that we have a list of verbs that we could use, sometimes in the simple, sometimes in the progressive form, like think. Yes, I think you're very smart. That's my opinion, right? But I'm thinking about cutting my hair. What do you say? Should I? You see? Okay. And then, last one. Any volunteers? Remember, volunteers look like this or like this. So, Carla, you look like you know. The answer wants to come out of your mouth.
Well, actually, it's just that this always confuses me. So I was looking at my
It's
notes.
great that we're discussing it, right? Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking at my notes right now, and about when, right? Well, usually when the word when it happens, it should be first. I was doing something. I mean, why does the action happen first in a sentence that contains when? Actually, when the word is when, I was doing something. What happened first is what starts with when. Okay. And the situation, the second thing that happens is what I did first. For example, I was no, yeah, that's why it gets confused sometimes. I think it would depend on the context, but
There you go.
oh, I'm sorry, it was there. It would depend on the context, yeah.
This is extremely important, guys. Every time you're dealing with grammar or tenses or any other topic that we discuss, logic applies, common sense, right? We need to make sure that we understand what we're reading or listening to, right? And make sure that we apply common sense, logic. So it's a generalization to simplify the use. So if you say, I stood under the tree when it started to rain, right? So what happens? First, the rain came, and then, I went to find, cover under the tree, right? That's a generalization that we have. If we understand that, so we apply our logic, we can play the mental picture there, right? Yes? So promise me that you're going to use your logic at all times. Pinky, no. Cross your hearts and hope to die if you don't. No pinky promises, right? Cross your heart and hope to die if you don't apply logic. You have to think, okay? Promise me? Okay, pinky promise, but please promise. Okay, show me pinkies. Okay, I'm going to trust your pinkies. Okay, so let's share your ideas about the new chapter. This is the second part of tenses. We're going to focus on perfect and perfect progressive. I like these very much because they are like, they are rich in ideas and meaning, okay? So we have the same chart here. What was she doing last time? She was, what? Let's say that this is in the past, right? Because I showed you this exact same picture last time, right? So what was she doing when I asked you? She was, Anna?
Doing homework.
There you go. That was what she was doing. So she was doing homework. Now we're going to use this same action to, remember the tense, past, present, or future. What was the other? The perfect simple and the perfect continuous is called what? We have the tense and it is, starts with A. Wanna play hangman? A, S, P, tense and E, A, S, P, E, A, S, P, E, A, S, P, E, Z.
Aspect.
Right, good. So the aspect can be simple, progressive, or continuous, perfect, and a combination of perfect and progressive, right? Yes? So those are the aspects, and then we have the tenses. We're focusing on past and present, but we will, just take a look at the future. So past perfect, it's a combination of the auxiliary have or has, right? Plus the past participle form of the verb. So in the past, the have goes to the past. So I say had done. I done my homework. I have done my homework, or I've done my homework. And then we have I will have done my homework. Then we have the perfect continuous. I've been doing my homework. I have, or I've been doing my homework, and I will have been doing my homework. So with the perfect tenses, what we do is that we combine two things, okay? Always. We will see how we do that. Okay, so let's think fast. I'm going to give you for the warm-up, for the test, the pre-test that we usually have, I'll give you a number and you have to tell me, give me a thumbs up if it's okay or thumbs down if it's incorrect. So, Marqueta, you get number 1, Ala number 2, Carla number 3, Kathy number 4, Alessandra number 5, Maria Alejandra number 6, Valerie number 7, Karen number 8, Adriana number 9, and Ana Paula number 10. Ana Paula, I hope you're here because I haven't heard from you. Okay. Ready?
Yes, so number 1, how long have you known my sister? That's correct. Oh, Why
This
not?
one thing. Okay.
Oh
Check the
no,
main
now it
verb.
doesn't have N. It just says
There you
no.
go.
Okay.
There you go. We need to make sure that we combine the have and the past participle form, and that those are tricky, times because it sounds similar, right?
Mhm.
Okay, Ellen.
All right, number two is we have been in this meeting since 7 a.m., so it is correct.
Right, you said right. That's why I gave you the answer. Okay.
Oh, well, I
it
wrote
wasn't your
the
answer.
sentence in the notebook, so yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now I won't pay attention to the right first. Okay, Carla.
Did you ever seen a ghost? It's incorrect. It should be, have you ever seen a ghost?
Excellent. Okay, Kathy.
How you been? I haven't seen you for a while. I think that's incorrect.
That's incorrect. And the problem is, or where? Just don't tell me what the problem is. Just find the problem.
The word have is missing. How have you been?
Excellent. Alessandra.
Jonas owned his home since last year, but his parents held him by it. I think this one's wrong because it should be Jonas has owned his home since last year, but his parents held him by it.
You see how we apply the logic here, and you say he owned his home means he doesn't have it anymore because it started and ended in the past simple, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Who's next? Alejandra, right? Actually, there's a matter of how long? Mm-hmm. Have you been, right? When you ask a question, we use the auxiliary first, right? Have you been? Excellent. Valerie?
I am watching TV since I got home is correct.
You sure? It sounds kind of weird, right? Now remember,
Oh,
if it
sorry,
sounds
it's
weird, it's
incorrect.
usually
I have
wrong. There you go. I'm watching things kind of, they don't go together, right?
I have got.
I've been watching since I got home, or I am watching TV right now, right?
Oh,
Okay. Karen, right?
I had felt sick after dinner, so I went to bed. I think it's wrong.
Actually, but we're going to see why past perfect can
Okay.
help here, okay? Because past perfect refers to something that happened before something else in the past, right? So first I felt sick and then I went to bed.
Okay.
Adriana?
I'm okay. It says we wanted to go out to breakfast, but we overslept. I am not sure because I listened something weird with the we wanted to go out, but I'm not sure.
Actually,
It's
and
correct.
we're going to pay attention to how we combine we have a pronoun, I, you, he, she, we, it, right?
Yeah.
Pronouns are followed by the contractions. Yes, it's had. It could be would, and if it were would, it would be incorrect. But it is had. How do we know? Because wanted follows, and had is always followed by the past participle form of the verb.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we will get to chat 9
Okay.
and we'll
I
discuss.
thought it was like we wanted to go out to breakfast, but we overslept. But okay. Thank you.
Again, we use in the past perfect something that happened before something else in the past. First, we wanted to go to breakfast, but we overslept. So we had the desire, then we couldn't do it because we were sleeping, right? Okay, and then last, Ana Paula.
Tony's eyes were itchy and red because she had been working in a dusty room. I think it's correct.
Sounds good, right? And again, she had been working, right? Okay, past perfect progressive. So let's focus on the easy aspects and then we're going to, build up the complexity of these tenses. Okay, so what do you notice about the verbs in blue? How long have you lived? I've lived in London. How long have you spoken? I've spoken English for more than a year. What do you notice about the verbs in blue?
They are in the past.
They are in the past, but not simple, right? Okay, now let's complete the chat. So I say live, lived, and what's the past participle form of live?
Lived.
Lived. Okay, then we have speak, spoke,
Spoken.
spoken. And then we have do, did,
Done.
done. Excellent. So you see, this is, the thing about the verbs in English or in any language is that we need to learn them by memory. But there's no other way. I've been teaching English, for more than 2 decades, for a long time, and I haven't come up with a method to help you learn this, but memorizing it, let your brain do it for you. Like hope, and stop, and listen, study. Regular verbs are easy, but the irregular verbs are a little trickier. We'll hit, and fine. And what we need to remember here is that we have a simple form, a simple past, a past participle. Those are the 3 main ones. And then we have the present participle. What's the difference between past and present participle? Check what we have here. Now, since you're going to be translators, let's discuss this in Spanish. What's the difference between past participle and present participle in Spanish in these verbs? Like when I say found and finding, swim and swimming.
Maybe the not maybe. The ing in this case, past participle, it's like we're seeing here, like ed and d, but the present participle should be in ing.
A simplified version in Spanish would be participle is like in Spanish we have hado, ido, todos, ocho, right? Enviado, escrito, oído, dicho, right? And participle is ando, yendo, right? Copiando, nadando, durmiendo, right? Okay, so that's easy. Now, the book presents the regular and irregular verbs in a very creative way, I think, right? Let's make sure that we know the difference in definition. What is a regular verb and what is an irregular verb in your own words? How would you differentiate them? Tati.
A regular verb is when we put the d at the end, and an irregular verb is like an stative form. We need to memorize the form in the present, in the past, and the past participle.
Yes, indeed. So regular verbs only take ed to form the past simple and the past participle. That's the good thing about it. And I was reading an article recently, and it said that like in, I don't know, about 500 years, all the verbs in English will become regular because, people start doing things and they become usual. Sadly, we won't be around in 500 years. So in the meantime, we need to remember about the regular ones. Okay? But your great-great-grandchildren will have it easy. Okay. Now, the irregular verbs change or don't. That's it. They change or don't change. That's it. You can have like hit, or cut, or you can have like speak, spoke, spoken, right? Okay. Now, let's just focus on some pronunciation tips very, very quickly for the regular verbs. Now, I need you to put your hand on your throat. Whenever you have to pronounce the ed ending, you just need to pay attention to your throat. Okay, that's it. So it doesn't mean that you have to walk around with your hand on your throat, right? Just whenever you have a question or you're in doubt, put your hand on your throat so you will solve your question, okay? Now, we have to pay attention to something that is called voiced and voiceless sound. So a voiceless, let's start with that because it's easier. is the one that doesn't use your voice to be produced. Like when you say say like and put your hand there. Can you feel any vibration? Not at all, right? So that's a voiceless sound. Can you think of another sound that is voiceless? Another one?
P.
Yes, Marqueta?
Like letter P. Because it comes from your lips.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It comes like p or t, right? Or k. Yes? Okay, so you're not using your voice to produce the sounds, just your articulators, right? Okay. And voiced is like all the vowels. A, right? E, O, you're using your voice, right? Like Okay, so when a verb ends in voiceless sounds, right? Then like, we have work, we pronounce it is in a voiceless way, like worked. And then we have watched, right? And then we have finished, right? Then we have pushed, passed, and kissed, right? Why? Because the all those are not, are not using your voice. Dropped and danced. And then we have voiced sounds like close. Even though it finishes with an S, we say z, right? So closed, rubbed, hugged, cold, charmed. I need you to put your hand here and say the words with me, okay? Planned, tired, loved, and played. See the difference? Let's read very quickly the first column. Worked, watched, finished, pushed. You don't feel any vibration, right? Okay, passed, kissed, dropped, danced, and fixed. Now let's read the other one. Closed, rubbed, hugged, cold, charmed, planned, tired, loved, and played. So those are the two situations we have, voiceless and voiced. But what happens if we have a sound or a word that ends with an already voiced, like to or do? We don't say to or do, right? So to avoid that, we say visited instead of visited. Yes? Visited, started, painted, assisted, needed, attended, mended. So that is why you hear people using the ed sometimes. Yes? Okay? Any questions or comments? No comments? Yes, comments. Give me your comments, your ideas. Too easy, right? Okay, now you have your tip. Now, let's focus on irregular verbs as they are presented in the book. How many groups did they give you? Did you happen to count them?
8.
8, excellent. So they grouped the verbs in 8 groups. That's it. We have group 1 when all the forms are the same. So does anybody remember any from the top of your mind? Any?
There are too many.
Yeah, I know. These irregular verbs are the ones that we need to, like, I don't know, repeat as a litany. So like a prayer, the prayer, sometimes you don't understand the words because you have said them so many times. Like, if you are Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, then you go like that. So you need to remember them, right? So we have bet, best. The best way to learn this is using your ears. What do I mean? Say it out loud. So when you say it incorrectly, it sounds weird, right? So you can say let, put, quit, shut, right? Or you can chant. Chants when you were, from when you were little? You can clap or snap your fingers or add movement so you can, kinesthetically remember. Like when you say cut, lift, right? Okay. If you do that, your brain will get the words and you don't have to think about it. And then you say, okay, heated. Doesn't sound good, right? Okay, so group number 1. Group number 2, past participle ends in N. Does anybody remember any? Past participle. Alessandra?
Yes, bite, beat, and beaten.
Excellent. Or break, broke, broken, hide, hid, hidden, ride, rode, ridden, shake, shook, shaken, etc. Right? So please say it out loud. Say it out loud. Add a little rhythm if you want, so your brains get them. Okay? This is something that we need to have like at the tip of our tongues all the time. You don't have to think of it. Okay, what was the past of? In Spanish, when you're speaking, you know, ¿cuál era el pasado de romper? Actually, in Spanish, it's harder. In English, we only have these 3 columns, right? En español, depende de la persona. Ella, yo compro, tú compras, él compra, nosotros compramos, ellos compraron, el futuro, el pasado, qué terrible, right? So poor people who are coming from English to Spanish and the verbs, right? El compraste, comprámelo, all those things, huh? Right? So it's easier. 3 columns that we need to remember, that's it, right? Okay. Then we have vowel changes from A in the simple past to U. Does anybody remember?
Begin, began, begun.
Excellent. Drink, drunk, drunk, swing, song, song, right? Okay, we have group number 4, which is bigger. We have past tense and past participle forms are the same. Does anybody remember any?
Hang, hung, and hung.
Excellent. Bend, bent, bent, bleed, bled, bled, build, 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 etc., 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 right? The more you say it out loud, the weirder it'll sound when it's wrong. Okay? Group number 5, past participle adds final into the simple past with or without a spelling change. Does anybody remember?
Grow, grew, grown.
Excellent. Grow, grew, grown. For blow, blew, blown. First, for foreign. Tear, tore, torn. Right? You know, every time I say them, it's like a chanting song because that's how I learned them. Okay. So we have group 6. First and third forms are the same. I like that one. Like, does anybody remember that one? One example?
Run, run, run.
There you go. Begin, began, begun. No, 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 no. Become, became, become, right? Come, came, come. Run, run, run. Okay. Then we have one of the 3 forms is very different. Now, I've looked, but I cannot think of any more examples than the ones that you have here, like do, did, done, and be, was, were, been, right? If you find more examples, please share them with me, okay? What about group 8? Both regular and irregular forms are used. You know, I like this note because the regular form is more common in American English, which is the one that I know. And the irregular form is more common in British English, which is the one that sounds kind of elegant, right? Yes? But it's like a matter of choice. Do you want to sound British? Do you want to sound American? Your choice. So we can say burnt or burned, right? Yes, so I burnt my hand yesterday or I burned my hand yesterday, right? Okay, so repeating out loud will help you remember these words better. And that's what we need because these verbs, you know, there are plenty more verbs, right? But these at least are the ones that we need to remember and know by heart. Okie dokie? Okay, so how about that very, very short game on Kahoot? Should we try the Kahoot again? Feeling like it? Because if you say no, I can skip the activity and move on. Let's move to the next chart, shall we? Now, I want you to give me ideas about yourself. So, Kathy, can you complete number 1? Alan, number 2. Alejandra, number 3.
Sure. I got up at 6 o'clock today.
Really?
Yes.
That's early. Okay, number 2. Alan?
Yeah, I'm trying to see right now what is the correct one.
Just the time.
Well, since 7
7:59.
7:50? No, 7:50. Yeah,
Okay, good.
7:50. Yes.
But you're here, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay. And Alejandra? Because you woke up at 7. Right? Okay, good. Now, can you help me find, what do you notice about the tenses of the verbs in blue? Up, got up, have been. What do you notice? What tense are we using? Marqueta? I like it when you start interacting.
The first one is in simple past because it was just action that happened in the past. I cannot even imagine you could say, I have gotten up because I mean, how can you bring this to the continuity? It doesn't make sense, right?
If you
But
use
I've been getting up is different because I've been in a process of trying to convince myself to get out of the bed.
There you go. But I would say I've been trying to wake up.
See, that's different, right? Get up and wake up.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then we have the have been, right? Now, this is a tricky part because we sometimes get confused when we have and been because it's so widely used as in the present or the past or the whatever tense you're using, perfect progressive. I've been working, I've been sleeping, right? But in the perfect simple, I can say I've been here or I've been to many places, right? Yes, without the ing form. So we're going to focus first. Come on. We're going to focus first on the present perfect simple. Okay? Now, since this is the third chart, because the first two were too easy, now I'm going to ask you to share with me what you highlighted. So I'm going to ask Adriana, what did you highlight in this chart? What do you think it's important? Key information.
Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I underlined that in all the chart, I underlined just let me check. The last part where it says a time clause may follow since as in E and F.
Okay. Oh, the last part. The first block?
In the
Like
first
it's important,
block,
like the introduction?
the formula, I underline the formula, the one that says present perfect form. And I didn't underline that, but the present perfect is often used with since and for to talk about situations. I didn't underline that, but because I underlined the formula.
Okay. Now, it's important because we already have like a definition or like a concept. The present simple is usually used to express, and I want you to like have it in mind, like think about it all the time to express habits and routines and facts, right? Then we have the present continuous or the present progressive to talk about things that are happening at the moment of speaking or things that are temporary, right? And then we have the present perfect to talk about things that began in the past and somehow affect the present. Yes? Now, I told you the present perfect tenses, not the present. The perfect tenses, they usually relate to things. Now, in this case, the present perfect relates the past to the present. It usually translates into experience. Like I've seen that movie before, so I have the experience, right? When exactly did I see the movie? I have no idea. I just know that I have the experience from the past. I've seen it. I've been there, right? I've traveled. When exactly? I'm not talking about that, right? I have the experience right now. So the present perfect helps me relate the past to the present, focusing on the result of that thing in the present. Yes, Valerie? What's your question?
I'm very sorry, Rocio. I
Okay.
had an emergency right now. I need to go. Is that possible? I have a partner here that is going to help me if you leave any homework or any exercise.
Well, the homework has already been assigned, so you don't have to worry about that. You have the chart that I shared, right? What we need to do is like practice and interact.
Okay, I'm very
Okay.
sorry about
So
that.
read the information and ask me if you have any questions. Okay, I hope you can solve your problem.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Take care. Okay, bye, Valerie. Now let's move. As I was saying, present perfect or perfect tenses usually relate to things. So in this case, present relates the past to the present. My battery is dying. Give me a sec. So something from the past has affected my present in the sense that I have the experience. That's why when you are, I don't know, talking about maybe in a job interview, you say, I have done this and I have done that, because it's important that they see that your past has, had a lot of experiences that make you who you are, right? Yes? Okay. We also need to remember that we use for and since. Okay. My computer opened Teams for some reason, so if it starts acting funny, I'm just going to close it as soon as I can. Okay. So since and for, we're going to focus on that in a sec. Now, the verb in the time clause is simple past. So check. I've known Rob since I was in high school, right? Okay, so since is in front of this new part of information that is in the past. Since when have I known him? Since I was little. Since we were, I don't know, kids. Since we went to school. Okay. So, what's the difference between since and for? Does anybody remember? Yes, Alessandra?
No, I think Marqueta wanted to answer.
Okay, by all means.
That's okay. You can go.
Okay. Okay, so since we use it to talk about a specific point in time, and for we use it to talk about a length of time.
Excellent. A period, the whole thing, right? Specific periods of time versus the beginning of that period of time, a specific point in time. Okay, so let's do this very quickly. I have 15 sentences and there are 9 of you. So I'm going to give you numbers, right? So Kathy 1, Alessandra 2, Paula 3, Carla 4, Alan 5, Maria Alejandra 6, Marqueta 7, Karen 8, Adriana 9. Kathy, you go next, and then Alessandra, and then Paula, then Carla, and then Alan. Okay? So Kathy, number 1.
Nobody has seen him since last Friday.
Excellent. Alessandra?
It has been foggy for some days.
Excellent. A period of time. Paula?
He has been fishing since 6 o'clock.
Excellent. Carla?
They've been living in France for 8 years.
Very good. Alan?
No, the pilots have been on strike.
2 months.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it seems, no?
2 months
It's
is
gonna be 4. No, it's gonna be
it
4.
has to
Yes.
be, because
Yeah,
2 months is a period of time, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
4.
Good job. Next. Alejandra? Well, I think since 1990, but okay. Marqueta?
Okay, I've known Tom since 1990.
You go. Karen?
We have been waiting for the bus for half an hour.
Usually, right? Adriana?
She hasn't lost a match since April.
Excellent. Do you think we need the next, or should I just give you the answers? Let's do them quickly. Tati?
Things have changed since he became a headmaster.
Excellent. Alessandra? Paula?
The police have been looking for him for a month.
Paula? Carla?
Our dog has been ill for 2 days.
Carla? Alan?
Oh,
First
I've been
Carla, then
looking.
Alan. First Carla,
Okay.
then Alan.
I've been looking, sorry, I've been looking for this book for a long time.
Excellent. Now Alan, and then Alejandra.
Oh, I've been working since I go up. No.
Excellent. The beginning of a period of time. We don't know how long you have been up. It can be 10 hours, 10 days, but okay, the beginning of that period. And then we have Alejandra. Excellent. The kettle. Okay. Now, the statements that are true for you need to be checked, picked, right? I've already had lunch. True or false? You have to give me thumbs down. Okay, I haven't finished my homework for this class yet. I want to pay attention to that answer. What? I haven't finished my homework for this class yet. I need to see those thumbs up. Thumbs up? Show me. I've never been late to class. Thumbs up or down? Okay. I felt tired lately. Okay, thumbs up. Now, which are the time words in these sentences? What do you think? Yes, Marquette.
So in the first one, it would be already.
Yes, indeed.
In the second, yet.
Great. And then,
Anybody else?
anybody else wants to help our friend here, Marqueta? She's using her voice too much. Never, never.
Last one is lately, no?
Lately, very good. Okay, let's focus on those time words, right? Now, those time words help us express unspecified time and repeated events, right? So what did you highlight here, Alejandra? Paula, if you can turn on your camera, I will really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's like a hint. If you see those words, and I want you to recognize what tense you're using, it's usually, not always, but usually the present perfect or the perfect tense, right? Okay, next, what else? Excellent. Paula, you have a question or something to add?
It's just about my camera. Is that I'm using a tablet right now. So
Okay.
if I turn on my camera, it just looks like this. So it's really not that comfortable. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, for next time, let's try and get something that it will help you because the interaction is really important, okay? What else? Anything else on this chart? There you go, imply. Mm-hmm. Hmm? Yeah, there you go, tests. You know, students always have tests. So I've had, or I have had 3 tests so far this term, and you expect more to come, right? Okay. What else? Yes, so that's what I was saying in the beginning. It sounds kind of weird when you say I've had, like I cannot even say it. I have had eaten, or what? I have eaten, I have had, I have done. It's easier to say I've or I'd. It's easier, way easier, and you sound more natural, right? Okay, so speaking challenge very quickly. We're going to do this exercise, but I need you to help me out here. What do you say we stop for 3 minutes for your stretch? Breathe in, breathe out. Yes? Refill your water, move a little, and then we will come back to this activity. Is that okay? Okay, so it's 9:11.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't. And when I went into the ice thing, I don't know how to say it.
Ice rink.
Yeah. Okay. When I went into the ice rink, my cousin. I remember that my cousin was holding my hand, and we started skating. And someone that was a professional, he was. I think he was practicing. I remember he was a Chinese guy, and he just went by us like this very fast. And I was like, whoa. And I really loved the balance. And then I fell, and then I was trying to get up, and I couldn't. I just kept on falling again.
It's
it was
too
so
slippery.
fun. It was so fun.
Yeah, I know. Good. Thank you for sharing, Marqueta.
Yeah, I've fallen on ice long time ago. Well, first of all, like you said, ice skating, but I've done it when I was a child, like maybe couple times. But like you said, it's difficult, so that didn't really catch my attention, I would say. And then I have fallen on ice because when the snow freezes and the streets are not very straight and they don't throw something like what do you call this, sand or something on them, then they become slippery. So that's also where I have fallen on ice.
So you see, and you won't allow me to lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ice is harder than the ground.
Yes, I mean it's hard and it's very, very slippery. It's just it's really difficult to walk on it. Because so it doesn't have any, like you would say, any bumps, right? So I mean that's why.
Yeah, there you go. So there was an ice rink here in Guatemala. I hope they bring it again because it was kind of fun to try and do something there. Okay, so moving on. I just want you to help me complete these sentences using present perfect, right? Or past simple. It depends on whether you're being specific or being general. For example, number 1, I a great film yesterday. So past simple or present perfect? What do you think?
Past simple.
Past simple.
Past simple,
I saw, right? Mm-hmm. Because I know exactly when. Now, a cheap laptop. General or specific?
Specific. No? Cheap.
Because I'm not asking you when you bought it. I want to know if you have you ever
have you
bought,
ever?
right? Now, it means that if your answer is yes or no, you still have a chance to buy one in the future, right?
Mhm.
You see? Okay. Sue, the flu last winter, last winter. A simple or present perfect? A simple, she had it. A few days ago, we, to his uncle.
We drove.
We drove to his uncle's house, right?
Mhm.
Okay. They go on Wednesday afternoon. On Wednesday,
We played.
played.
Uh-huh.
He, the bus to get there.
He has taken.
He
He has already taken.
has already taken. Now again, this one isn't that clear, but the thing is that you have the adverb that usually goes with the perfect tenses, right?
Mhm.
Okay, last week, my rabbit away.
Ran away.
Ran.
Run away. Okay, we a lot last Sunday.
Did.
We did.
Did. To India? Ever?
Sure. To India. She
This is a
has
question.
she ever been?
Has she ever been to India, right? Now, with the perfect tenses, just like we did with the simple and the continuous or the progressive, we need to make sure that we know how to make negatives and questions, right? In the negative, we use hasn't or haven't. And in the question, we change the order for the yes or no questions, right? So, have you ever? Has he ever? Have they ever? Yes. Or we can use information questions and what have you done? Okay. Now, I him last Monday.
Met him.
Met him.
Met him.
And him.
She yet.
She hasn't.
Hasn't
Hasn't waking up.
woken up.
Woken up.
Remember the past participle form, right? Woken. I her since last Thursday.
Yes.
Since
I haven't.
haven't met. Now, check that whenever we have the adverbs, it's easier to think, okay, I'm going to use perfect tense, okay? Then I have Bob, well, last night.
Slept.
Slept well. Hi, a letter from her started in the past and will probably continue in the present and into the future, right? Okay. So, Alan, can you share with me what you highlighted here?
Yes, of course. Here right now, in the first one is compare. Well, after that, no, of course, compare the present progressive express an activity in progress right now. I underline also.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I can just pick, pick the keywords, or you can give me the whole thing. I said
Okay.
it's your preference.
And then on the letter B, we have the present perfect progressive express how long activity has been in progress. Yeah. And then the next one, well, time expressions often used with this tense are, and here we have the examples. And I think that's it, no?
We
Yeah.
have the second part of the chapter.
Oh, yeah, the other one.
Mhm.
Okay. The present perfect progressive. Well, I underline here is not used with non-progressive or static
Stated verbs, just like the,
verbs.
the simple, the past progressive or the present progressive.
Uh-huh. And for the other one, just okay. The idea of how long can be expressed by either. Yeah. Yes. And the next one, it's gonna be. Let me see. I have many notes here. Sorry. Okay. It's gonna be on the same, right? On the same chart. I don't know if I'm correct enough, but yeah, this is gonna be in the same one. Only tense can be used only when the verb express the duration of a present activities or situation that happen regularly. And the last one, when the tense is used without any mention of time. Is express as general activity in progress recently, lately.
Okay, so there are two situations when we express the time and when we don't. If we choose not to talk about the time, it means it's a generality, right? Like, I've been thinking. How long have you been thinking? I hope that that answer is my whole life, right? Okay, yeah. So you see, it's not important, how long you've been doing it, it's not important. Sometimes you can, make it important, or sometimes you just, deduct that, right? Hopefully you've been thinking always, right? Okay, so now the present perfect progressive emphasizes duration of an activity. I have a picture for you to, look at it. Now I'm going to ask Karen, could you read? Could you read it like in columns?
Okay. Present perfect continuous emphasis on activity. He has been repairing the car for 2 hours.
Okay, stop there for a sec. Let's think about it. He's been repairing the car for 2 hours. So I'm focusing on the duration of the activity. It's a long time. I'm maybe kind of desperate now and I want to go home, or I don't know, right? Yes? Okay, move on to the next one.
Present perfect emphasis on result. He has repaired the car.
Okay, instead of he's been repairing the car, it means he hasn't finished, right? But he's repaired the car, it's done. When did he finish? How long did it take him? I'm not talking about that, right? I'm just focusing your attention on the fact that it's ready. You see? So present perfect takes something from the past and relates it to my present. Yes? Present perfect, progressive or continuous, takes something, an activity, and emphasizes that it has been in progress, and I pay attention to the duration of that activity, right? I've been working on the railroad. That's the song, right? I've been working on the railroad all the holiday, right? So I'm making you pay attention to the thing that I might feel tired because I've been working on the project for a long time, right? You see, I've worked. Well, good for you. Yes, when exactly did you work? I don't know, but you have the experience. Got it? Okay, so that's the main difference between present perfect and present perfect progressive. Now we're going to move. We have discussed the present. Let's move on to the past very quickly. So again, we're talking about always combining two things. Yes? Present perfect combines the past with the present to make sure that I can emphasize what I want to express. Yes? Now we have the past perfect. And what two things do I compare here? Can anybody tell me? Check the example that you have there. Read the sentences and tell me what you think. What is it that the past perfect combines? What do you think? Check my example of the burglar here. Someone broke into our house. We arrived home, okay? And then at the present time, I can say something that goes like this. We discovered that someone had broken into our house. So how are we combining these two things? I'm going to give you another example. I'd already washed my hands before I ate my salad. I'd read the book before I watched the movie. I'm going to show you the chat. What are we combining with the present perfect? Combines past with present and tells you how it is related, right? Past perfect combines what? Two
Activity.
Okay, let's hear Carla and then Marquette.
Microphone.
No problem.
It combines two activities.
But what happened? What kind of activities?
Okay, both of them happen to have happened in the past, both of them. But one actually, one first, and while that thing was happening, the other happened. I mean, something like that. I mean,
Okay, I'm going to say you're very warm. Yes, like from 1 to 100, you are 92. Right,
something was
good.
happening when the first thing already happened.
Okay,
So,
great, good,
yeah.
yes. You're
my
getting
God.
closer. Marqueta, can you brush it up?
Okay, so yes, there are two pasts, right? But the past perfect happened before the past. So it kind of shows, the past perfect shows which action or activity happened first, and then the simple past shows the activity that happened afterwards.
I couldn't have said it better. Yes, that's the job of the past perfect, to order your events. The one that you choose to express with the past perfect is the one that happened before the other one. I read the book, I watched the movie. Not in the other order because I like to have all the details first. You see? So you use the past perfect to order your events, okay? And the one that you choose to express in the past perfect happened before the other one, okay? So here you have the information. An activity that was complete before another activity in the past. So again, perfect tenses, two things. They combine two things, two events in this case, right? In the past perfect, it orders your events. It orders, the thing that happened first. In the present perfect, it relates your past to your present and expresses how it affects you, right? Okay, now we can use the by the time because it takes you to the, point of your story where two things have already happened. By the time, yes, she came, the other person had already left, right? So first she left and then the other person came, right? By the time, yes? Okay. Now, Kathy, can you help me with the second part of the chat? What did you highlight here?
Sure. Let me look for my chart.
Hmm? This is a very interesting, thing to say because adverbs can help you reduce your words. What's the purpose of the past perfect? To organize your events, right?
I highlighted if either before or after is using the sentence, the past perfect is often not necessary.
So if you want to use it, you can omit the past perfect. Here you have an example. After the guests had left, I went to bed, right? So first they left and then I went to bed. So after they left, I went to bed. So the adverb does the job of the past perfect. So don't forget, you can use past perfect or you can use an adverb, right? What else?
Reporter speech in the second paragraph.
Okay, don't worry about that because we have a chapter devoted to reported speech when we get to noun clauses, okay?
Okay, yes. And in the third paragraph, I highlighted formal writing.
Okay, yes. The past perfect is often found in more formal writing, right? Okay? Because in informal, speaking, we use the adverbs, right? Okay? And then here it's important. We have another chart for this, so we have to pay attention to have and would. Check, check. I'm going to move on to this chart. Apostrophe D can mean two things. And thank you, Kathy, for sharing. So it can mean had or it can mean would. But we need to make sure that we can recognize what it is. Yes? So according to this chart, how do we recognize it? Alejandra? Mm-hmm. Okay, so in your words, what does that mean? Okay, had is only reduced when it's an auxiliary, right? What is an auxiliary? How we form the past perfect, had and the past participle form, right? And it can not be reduced when you say he had it, right? So he'd had it. We cannot have double apostrophe, right? Yes? Okay, now check this. Would, so apostrophe D can mean would, yes? And it is always followed by either a bare infinitive or a perfect infinitive. What does that mean? I'd tell, base form, her, I would tell her. I'd have said no. But the next word is always in the base form, right? In the present, yes? So would is apostrophe D followed by base form, yes? Always. Now, had is always used before the past participle form, yes? So apostrophe D was past participle. I'd seen the movie. I'd been there. I'd done it. I'd read it. I'd avoided it. Whatever action you want to say in the past participle is always preceded by had. So that is the difference. If the next word is base form, it needs to be would. If the following word is past participle, it needs to be had. It cannot be anything else, right? That's what is important to remember. And had is also used with better. That's a phrase. Yes, I'd better take an umbrella. When we get to the modals, we will discuss this, in more depth. Okay? So how do we summarize this? Would, apostrophe D means would when what? When does apostrophe D mean would? Yes. When does it mean would? When it is followed by?
Verb in a base form.
Yes. Always. If you have apostrophe D and a base form, it has to be would. And when does it mean had? When it is followed by what?
Past participle.
Past participle. Always, right? I'd seen. I would see. Yes? Okay. Now, I'm going to have to skip this exercise because I need another chart. But I'm going to show you the answers anyways. So we ate cherries from the tree that my grandfather planted many years before. So many years before. So how do I change this into the past perfect? That my grandfather had planted, right? Yes? So we ate the cherries, but after he planted them, right? When we arrived, the show had already started.
Right.
Now, when we want to add an adverb, we have to open up a space between the auxiliary and the verb, right? It goes in between. We went to a place where I had never been before. I can use negative. Nunca había estado ahí, right? The teacher wanted to know whether we had read the book before, right? Yesterday, I met a friend that I hadn't seen for ages. No lo había visto en mucho tiempo, right? Okay, your husband. Had your husband made dinner when you got home? That's a very nice husband, right? First he made dinner, then you arrived. Had Lisa finished her homework when she went out with her friends? You know, if it's my daughter, the answer needs to be yes. Right? Had you had breakfast before you started work? The answer should be yes here, right? What has he done that made you so upset? So first he did something bad, then you got upset, right? Had she moved to London already, or had she already moved to London when she met her boyfriend? Maybe he's English, right? Okay, so you see, past perfect orders your events. Yes, Alan?
You also say she had already moved to London, right? Is that possible or not? Or I understand
The
wrong?
thing is that this is a question, so that's why I put had she
Oh, okay.
moved.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you.
Had she moved to London before she met or when she met her boyfriend? Right? Okay. So we need to practice. Okay, so we have discussed past perfect. We're going to discuss past perfect progressive. So if the past perfect simple orders my events, what does the past perfect progressive do? What did you highlight here, Carla?
Wait. I highlight emphasize the duration and the activity that was in progress before another activity or time in past.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
I'm going to just add, just like the present perfect progressive emphasizes the duration of an activity, the past perfect progressive does the same, but at the same time, it orders your events, right? Okay, what else?
I also circled, in this case, I circled the note, which says the past perfect progressive is used infrequently compared to other verb tenses.
Mhm.
And on the other, the tense also may express an activity in progress, closing time to another, what we were saying. Activity on time, okay. And the last, the past perfect progressive also occurs in reported speech.
Okay, reported speech is something that we're going to discuss in depth when we get to the noun clauses, right? So let's focus on the past perfect progressive, which means that something, we're emphasizing the duration of this that happened before or got interrupted, right? We had been sleeping for 10 years, not 10 minutes, right? Yes? So the duration of time is important for me, so I'm using the progressive tense, right? Habíamos estado durmiendo por 10 minutos cuando nos interrumpió. Solo 10 minutos, right? Okay, so I like this very much. So I want you to, maybe you can read this exercise 41 on your book. This is something that you were not supposed to do. Just, you know, close your eyes for a sec. There we go. Okay, and with this we're finished. Okay, so what did we learn today?